This segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your partner is good health.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very much. And when we want updates from the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office, we turn our attention to Commander Lonnie Cavalier. Commander, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Keith, good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir. We appreciate it. All right, we'll roll through these. Tell us first about this gentleman, Mr. Mark Anthony Darby.
Yes, Mark Anthony Darby, Jr., 25 of 8191 Main Street, Sorrento, Louisiana, was arrested on multiple felony charges arising from a burglary investigation which began on February 26, 2024. On that day, deputies made contact with the complainant in the Platteville area who advised that while visiting a friend, her vehicle was burglarized. Later on the same day, the complainant began receiving notifications from a financial services company that her financial services access cards had been accessed and were being used. The complainant further advised that the transactions were not authorized. Those access cards were stolen during the burglary of her vehicle. Detectives initiated an investigation. Upon further investigation, detectives determined that additional vehicles had been burglarized in the same area near the same time. Detectives were able to view electronic equipment at the location where the complainant's access cards were used in Ascension Parish. Detectives were able to identify Mark Anthony Darby, Jr. as a suspect in the alleged crimes. At the conclusion of the investigation, detectives obtained arrest warrants for Mark Anthony Darby, Jr. On August 19, 2025, Mark Anthony Darby, Jr. was released to the custody of the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office from the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, where he was being held on unrelated charges. Mark Anthony Darby Jr. was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of simple burglary of a motor vehicle, 3 counts, identity theft, and felony theft. He is also wanted again by the Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office. Mark Anthony Darby remains incarcerated in lieu of a $250,000 bond.
Thank you, Commander. Now, if you could tell us a little bit more about J.D. Price III with some sex crimes.
Yes, J.D. Price III, 26 of 15330 Ella Boulevard, Houston, Texas, was arrested on multiple felony sex crimes involving juveniles. On August 29, 2024, detectives interviewed an individual in connection with possible sex crimes committed upon a 15-year-old juvenile. The complainant advised that she had recently located messages on the phone belonging to her 15-year-old daughter, which indicated that an individual had apparently traveled to Assumption Parish from the state of Texas to engage in sexual activity with the juvenile. Detectives recovered electronic evidence supporting the allegations of the complainant, and through investigation were able to identify the suspects as J.D. Price III. At the conclusion of the investigation, detectives secured arrest warrants for the arrest of J.D. Price III. On August 3, 2025, the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office was notified that J.D. Price III was in the custody of the Harris County Sheriff's Office in the state of Texas. J.D. Price III was released to the custody of the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office on August 17, 2025, and was booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of carnal knowledge of a juvenile, computer-aided solicitation of a minor, and pornography involving juveniles. J.D. Price III remains incarcerated with a bond set at $675,000.
Now, if you could tell us a little bit more about the disturbance involving Dusty James Falcon.
Yes, Dusty James Falcon, 43 of 461 Highway 400 Napoleonville, was arrested on multiple charges arising from a disturbance on August 4th, 2025 at a residence in the 2500 block of Highway 308 near Laverdale. Deputies made contact with the complainant, who requested assistance in having an individual now identified as Dusty James Falcon removed from the premises. Deputies made contact with Dusty James Falcon, at which time he immediately offered resistance towards law enforcement. Deputies were able to take Dusty James Falcon into custody. At some point after arriving at the detention facility, Dusty James Falcon was transferred to a local healthcare facility for treatment. At the conclusion of the investigation, deputies secured arrest warrants for Dusty James Falcon. Deputies arrested Dusty James Falcon on Monday morning in Napoleonville and booked him into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of disturbing the peace, resisting an officer with force or violence. Dusty James Falcon remains incarcerated pending a bond hearing.
Thank you, Commander. And finally, if you could tell us a little bit more about the motor vehicle theft of Martinez.
Yes, Tyrell Ayuke Martinez, 39 of 157 Georgette Street, Napoleonville, was arrested on felony charges arising from the reported theft and the filing of a false affidavit in support of the reported theft of a vehicle. On August 11, 2025, deputies responded to the aforementioned address and made contact with the complainant, who advised that her 2011 Infiniti automobile had been stolen from the driveway she was parked at on Georgette Street. The complainant signed an affidavit reporting the vehicle stolen. The matter was referred to detectives for further investigation. Detectives initiated that investigation and were able to secure evidence contradicting the complainant's claim that her vehicle had been stolen. Detectives secured an arrest warrant for the complainant suspect, now identified as Tyrell Ayuke Martinez. Detectives assisted by the Thibodeau Police Department located Tyrell Ayuke Martinez and arrested her on August 14, 2025. Martinez was transferred to the custody of the Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office and booked into the Assumption Parish Detention Center on charges of theft of a motor vehicle, filing a false affidavit to support an alleged theft of a motor vehicle. Tyrell Ayuke Martinez posted a $10,000 commercial bond and was released. Her vehicle was recovered in Terrebonne Parish.
Commander, we always appreciate your time and energy. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. I got a lot more right here on Bayou Time.
This segment was brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your partner is good health.